Hi, Brooke. How are ya?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Friday. Rolling
Good
into
one.
the weekend, rolling into some events.
Definitely, definitely,
Oh,
and out of some. It's been a very, very busy couple weeks.
you're
So,
so right. You're so right. These spring
mhm,
events are really just piling in. They're coming on strong.
really made me think about 2 years ago when we were everything was coming to a screeching halt about this time, and
Oh my
we
goodness.
took everybody virtual. That was an interesting time,
It sure
wasn't
was.
it?
And now we're trying almost converting a little bit back into events. So it's almost a
Mhm.
little flip-flop.
It
Um,
is. It is.
yeah.
So,
And so with
mhm,
that, there's a lot going on. Fundraising is hard. I
mhm,
think with the big pandemic that hit, people are trying to figure out how to do it the right way. I mean, how to do it with the hybrid or how to do it back, switch back into in person. And fundraising is hard. And I think that sometimes development directors and clients that we have forget about fundraising wellness and
mhm.
how they can feel well and how they can succeed. And so I was hoping today we could talk about the biggest opportunity that they have with fundraising wellness. How can they really capitalize on that?
Sure. Yeah, we are seeing that. A lot of turnover in our clients, a lot of frustration. It's hard. There are a lot of opportunities though. Fundraising events in particular take so much time. I think we've forgotten how much time it takes. And there's a huge opportunity in automating that. And I'll get on the phone with a prospect, and the cost of the license is not very much. And they just don't get the board buy-in, like something that might save them 40 hours of time. A board might say no.
Mhm.
And that just the message to a development director is your time is not valuable. And it leads to that. If a person is having to spend, so I'm to me, the opportunities for wellness are looking for all the ways you can automate something to save time, creating boundaries with who you say yes to. You don't have to go to every event. You don't have to go to every coffee. We're coming back, and so they're going to everything. And so you don't have to go everything. You got to make some decisions about your time and really prioritizing where you are your best. It was sort of like last week we talked about, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about the five keys to an event, and none of those relate to the data entry behind the scenes, right? So, is your highest and best use entering table names? Can you outsource that or can you automate that? So that to me is a real opportunity in events is and fundraising is really valuing your time and having the board value your time.
Mhm.
So you've worked a lot with our nonprofit, and I'm just curious why do you think a board would not value the staff person's time? Or some examples of things when you hear and are working with a client of when you can tell that the staff person doesn't value her time.
Yeah, yeah. I think working with so many nonprofit clients, a lot of the time I do feel like their main goal is to make everyone else happy. So they're trying to make the board members happy, they're trying to make the donors happy, and they want everyone to feel a little bit of ease. And in the meantime, they're not thinking about themselves. So they're not thinking, how can I make this easy on myself? And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We had a client that called us up and said, I want to handle the entire table process for all of my sponsors. I don't want them to have to go in and add their ticketed guests. None of that information has to go to them. They wanted to handle all of it. And when you think about that, that is a ridiculous amount of time spent in the back end doing all of this entry. And what does that benefit you? In reality, they wouldn't have a problem with receiving that email. And maybe you have one or two people that do, push back and say, here's my list. But overall, it'll reduce so much time spent adding all of those in manually when they're doing it for themselves. So you have to
Mhm.
seriously think about, this is your event, this is the structure of your event. What is going to be the best thing for you? Is it going to be giving them a little bit to do and getting some time and having a little bit of extra time for yourself, or spending extra time doing things that are actually going to benefit the event?
Yeah.
So, does that raise money? No. Does that help them raise awareness? No. They're not thinking about the things that are going to benefit them and save their time in the process. So it's just finding that happy medium without pushing them too far, doing too much, causing that burnout, and finding what works making it easy for them, and in turn also making it easy for everyone else and raising
Right.
that money and making that event successful.
Right. Well, the event I just did, I was just telling you, I was like, just automating that process and having our sponsors enter names, it saved at least 70% of the time. I mean, we still had some, but I cannot imagine doing that all 100%, like, and the amount of time. And I know that the sponsors would want our time utilized well. Our board wants time utilized well. And really it's just about communicating that back and what that looks like, and what it means to invest in that. Because at the end of the day, if you quit, it hadn't helped anybody. What's the ultimate cost? And it's that you quit and you go somewhere else. Yeah. So today the message is, invest in things that help you save time.
Yes.
So,
You feel
yeah.
well, your event's gonna feel well, everyone in turn will feel good, and it's gonna be the best benefit for everyone,
No doubt.
especially
No
our
doubt.
development directors who wanna succeed. So you'll succeed and you'll feel good about it. You're not gonna be exhausted at the end of it.
That's right. Maybe a little.
A little bit, right.
Maybe
There
a
will be a
little, yeah.
little bit of exhaustion,
We
but
don't want to overpromise here, Savannah.
you're right, you're right.
Yeah,
Let me
but
take
maybe less. Maybe less frazzled. So, well, this is fun. It always is. Our 5 minutes have turned into 6. So,
per usual.
that's right. We can't wait for the next one. Here's to your wellness, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks. Bye, Brooke.
Bye.